Mawo akwaba ediba Jerry's TV so ene enyumrei medie ohwe wo YouTube we hu YouTube live our Jerry's TV GH and Facebook so Jerry's TV GH and what do you call Twitter Jerry's TV GH ne anopay Sembe Bresi Ghana as I see you do Juma. Na ye baba mni bobo mni ye hese ni echo. Ye amanyoku a ye friend NDC. Ene omaya ni amon sembi a chinsem ye krachi ye friend no omo national secretary ye fifi kwate. Juma wadi ene chese letter yate netia chese no nanu ya yefa no ye reshuffle of NDC leadership. Now we cannot explain it better than say yade yad semnuba akodan ora Paul Adom-Otchere good evening Ghana show ne so Krachina I explaining the year papa. We're not gonna bother ourselves explaining it again. Paul, you the credit man. You the credit man. Why are the papa? You cannot explain it better than. We cannot explain it better than Senior. Why no? Why explain my analysis? My emphatic analysis. Now, Paul Kasa we are. Yeah, the reaction far some of NDC members are omubuafu about that decision NDC new members are elected to office recently party leadership elected to office chairman general chairman which is General Mosquito Asiedu Nketia and general secretary Fifi Kwate. And some of the pennyfo almost here, according to Fifi Kwate cried or mentioned say His Excellency former President John Dramani Mahama consulting. The no adding because Oma some of the party members nature say reverse decision as soon as possible. And on a year train near her say Ombaya na say omonye nti yegusu train imwaya party for leadership no de beba mumma enkotie Paul Adom-Otchere achechiremu na mpese owie waso na otie okasa wi a ye the reaction beba amanfo adwalai pa chese wahwe NDC party no asembesim dache asembesim which means says MPP for your majuma year on betima break you 8 send your more canon because me ADC me on Paul Kasa we will analyze it and as a metima analyzing we are a Paul as ADC MPP NDC must see a great opportunity for the MPP party. For my view, HSA MPP say the partially no. Sankrofo mienu ya change your position na say you free omakonya so. Minority leader. Honorable Haruna Idrisu ena Mutaka you free ono makofa atoforcing abesi Haruna Idrisu position which means that to force the minority leaders they say. Now yes I dey we nyina no. Omo consult to be out. Unopposed they make their own decision. Omo mo Haruna Idrisu amanie NDC caucus parliament omo mo amanie omo anye bibia decision came from some form group of people be a leaders be a MP NDC and contrast including His Excellency John Dramani Mahama almost here na asem ni nyina no enchire mu no ura Paul Adom-Otchere chire mu yie pa but wi a me de kakra be ka ho mummy yenkotie asama Paul ekaye na owi a ye gina ya analyze ne sema oka no mummy tie Paul ye waso gi neti.
Sometime in the afternoon, a statement came from the National Democratic Congress indicating serious changes in the leadership of the parliamentary group. Now, the changes affected Honorable Idrisu Haruna, Member of Parliament for Tamale South, who's been he's been the minority leader since 2017. Now, when the statement came, as I said, everyone was concerned because the relationship between President Mahama and Haruna Idrisu, everyone who is into politics knows that has not been the best. And where is it coming from? Where's the story coming from? The story is coming from another story. It is said that when Professor Mills was president, there were talks about Professor Mills stepping down from office due to ill health, and there was some indication from some supporters of Professor Mills that in his stead they wanted a ticket that has Kwesi Ahoy on the ticket and Idrisu Haruna for the NDC 2012 event. This is a conversation that apparently occurred when Professor Mills was alive. That he steps aside, he appoints a vice president to Kwesi Ahoy. They get rid of President Mahama somehow. It's quite an interesting story. We don't know whether it's true, but that's the story. Now the story then says that Haruna Idrisu had accepted to be part of that arrangement to make him a vice president instead of President John Dramani Mahama. Whether true or not, we don't know, but that's the story. Now, what we know though is that Professor Mills died on the 24th of July 2012 in the election year, 6 months to the election. On the same day, John Dramani Mahama, per the constitution, ascended to the throne of presidency in Ghana. And then there was an election to fight in December. The NDC overwhelmingly endorsed President Mahama with a few disquiet voices around, but certainly John Mahama was endorsed as the NDC's candidate for election 2012. John Dramani Mahama won a convincing victory. We later went to court and he won the court as well, and was sworn in as president on the 7th of January 2013. Now, when President Mahama was about to release his list for ministerial appointment, that's a fact. The first part about Haruna Idrisu and others trying to oust President Mahama from the vice presidential seat is not a fact, but this one is a fact. So President Mahama became president and his first list of ministers excluded Idrisu Haruna. Yes, it did. And so that lent credence to the fact that there may be some confusion, some little frosty relationship between the two men. One Gonja, one Dagomba, expected to be very close, but it looked like there was a problem. So Haruna Idrisu's name did not appear on the first list of ministers. Now, if you trace that back to 2009, Haruna Idrisu, young as he was, his name appeared on the first list of Professor Mills ministers for no less a ministry than the Ministry of Communication. Now, President Mahama, when he took over, took the Ministry of Communication from Haruna Idrisu and gave it to Dr. Mani Boama, and also added information. So Dr. Mani Boama was Minister for Communication with the Ministry of Information part of it. Immediately Haruna Idrisu was gone, and Haruna was not in the list. So what happened on that occasion? Rows broke out in Tamale. Rows broke out in Tamale. You can Google it, you find it there. Rows broke out in Tamale about Haruna Idrisu is not in the cabinet of President Mahama. And there was a lot of confusion, and everyone could see that President Mahama's hand was being forced to have Haruna Idrisu in the cabinet. Now the question is, the question that begs an answer is that why will President John Dramani Mahama, a Gonja from the north, NDC member, not have Haruna Idrisu, a Dagomba from the north also, in his immediate cabinet? Clever Haruna Idrisu, the star, shining star of the party, one of the youngest people that Professor Mills put in his cabinet. Why will President Mahama exclude Haruna Idrisu from the first list of parliament, of ministers? And why will President Mahama also take communications ministry away from Idrisu Haruna and hand it over to Dr. Mani Boama? So the route then continued. Eventually, it appeared that President Mahama had succumbed to the route and made Idrisu Haruna. But there's a catch. Idrisu Haruna became trade minister. Guess who became his deputy? One of the people considered to be Haruna's enemy in the party. Not because they don't like each other, but by design of their contest for the National Youth Organizer position years earlier. Nilante Vanderpoel, the member of parliament for Odododio, was titled as the candidates for the National Youth Organizer position of the NDC years earlier, heavily supported by the party founder, Flight Lieutenant Rawlings, as he then was. Idrisu Haruna competed against the established candidate Vanderpoel and defeated him. So Haruna and Nilante were said not to have such a good relationship. What did President Mahama do? He put the two men who are said not to have a good relationship together at the Ministry of Trade, one as boss, one as deputy. It was indicated that President Mahama was trying to create confusion for Haruna. Somehow, Haruna went to the ministry, was successful. He bonded with Nilante Vanderpoel. As soon as Haruna was okay at the ministry and everything seemed okay with him, Then he was taken off to Labour. At the time Haruna went to Labour, there were heavy Labour agitations. All political analysts were saying that why is John Mahama putting Haruna in harm's way, if you like? But that's what we found until election 2016 occurred, and then Haruna became minority. So whether or not President Mahama was part of this decision is the question that everyone was asking. Now, listen to Fifi Kwete, the General Secretary of the party, hesitating to answer the question of Umaru Sanda of CTFM as to whether President Mahama endorsed this decision or not. Fifi Kwete hesitated. Let's hear him, and then we'll come and look at the statement itself. This is Umaru Sanda speaking to Fifi Kwete earlier today.
And so on. I think I prefer not to go into that. All I can say that all the key leaders that I've mentioned have been duly consulted.
Was former President Mahama consulted on this decision?
I've just told you that he's been consulted. Yeah.
And he approved that you should go ahead with what you are going ahead with.
I just told you that he has been duly consulted and his views were taken into consideration. Yeah.
I know, so I'm asking that after he was consulted, did he say yes, he agreed with the decision, or no? Because we are told he said no, don't do that, hold on onto it. Is that true?
All I can say is that he has been consulted, his views were duly reflected.
The ones who have been removed, i.e. Haruna Idrisu.
So you see the clear hesitation on the part of the General Secretary of the party as to whether President Mahama has endorsed this decision or not. He says that everyone was consulted and that President Mahama's views were taken into consideration. Then Sanda asked him what we've all heard today, that is it true that President Mahama said, hold it, take your time a little bit? He didn't quite answer. He said President Mahama's views were taken into consideration. Okay, so let's go and look at the statement that was issued by the Honorable Fifi Kwete today. It goes as follows, and it is a statement written to the Speaker. It's a letter to the Speaker. It says, Dear Mr. Speaker, the national leadership of the National Democratic Congress wishes to formally bring to you notice the following changes the party has undertaken in its parliamentary leadership. Minority Leader Honorable Dr. Kaisel Ato-Forsen, Deputy Minority Leader Honorable Kofi Ama-Boa, Minority Whip Honorable Kwame Agboja, and First Deputy Whip Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim. The letter goes on. The new leadership would be charged to recommend consequential changes in the ranking membership of the headquarters of the party for approval. Please accept the assurance of our highest regard. Thank you. Yours faithfully. So that letter is signed by Fifi Kwete. It says that the new leadership will now have to recommend the story. Now let's get back to that the list. Let's put the graphics on. Can you give me the graphics and let's get to the list? I'm going to talk about Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim. But let's get the, they're going to get us some graphics. Is that what? Okay, so the first one is Haruna Idrisu and John Mahama. We've told you the story. What about Haruna Idrisu and Mohamed Muntaka? President Mahama and Mohamed Muntaka. We would assume that Muntaka is also a big supporter of President Mahama. The strength that Muntaka held in the leadership in that parliament was that he comes from Ashanti region. You know that the NDC and the MPP both have Ashanti region in their big equation. For the NDC, win 30% of Ashanti region, you can win the national election. For the MPP, win 75% of Ashanti region, you can win the national election. And so Ashanti region is always important to the NDC to grab that all significant 30%, which sometimes in numbers is bigger than many other regions. So Muntaka's representation in the leadership of the NDC has always been connoted as bringing the Ashanti factor, because he's an MP of a big constituency, as I say, in Ashanti region, which is a constituency of mixed people, and he wins that constituency all the time. So taking him out of the parliament has something to say about what you want to do with Ashanti region going forward. But Muntaka is out now. And then Kaisel Ato-Forsen is the new kid on the block. Now, you will know that Kaisel Ato-Forsen has always been one of the allies of John Mahama. John Mahama is one of his patrons. President Mahama kept him at the Ministry of Finance. And I have to correct that, but I think he was at the Ministry of Finance as Deputy Minister to Seth Tekbe, because under Professor Mills, the ministers were at Finance was Dr. Dufour, Fifi Kwete, and Seth Tekbe. And under President Mahama, it was Seth Tekbe, Kaisel Ato-Forsen, and later on Mona Korte as deputy. So Kaisel Ato-Forsen came in very strong as Deputy Minister of Finance under President Mahama and was responsible for a lot of the thinking that went on in the finance sector. So he's a Mahama guy, isn't it? He's now the majority leader. Later tonight, we'll be sharing with you his performances in his own parliamentary constituency, and then you get that as well. Okay, Ama Kofi Boa is also very certainly a President Mahama boy. He's a good friend of mine, very good guy, Amako Fibua, I have to say. And Amako Fibua also was Deputy Minister for Energy, and then later on, President Mahama made him Minister for Energy, or Tinjesi was the minister, and during the Mills era, when President Mahama became, he promoted Amako Fibua to become the Minister for Energy. So yes, of course, he's one of his good people. And then let's go through the list again and see what's next. Okay, all right. So this is who is out and who is in. So Haruna Idrisu out for forcing, Amako Fibua out. Okay. Now I'd like to speak about a gentleman called where is the deputy whip? I don't have it here. Ooh, Ahmed Ibrahim is right there. Okay. I'd like to speak about Ahmed Ibrahim. Now Ahmed Ibrahim is one of the two retained people in this equation. Now, who is Ahmed Ibrahim? Now I'll show you what who Ahmed Ibrahim is in a minute. Ahmed Ibrahim is the Member of Parliament for Banda. Why is he important in this equation? Because it was Ahmed Ibrahim, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Banda, who attended Johnson Asiedu-Nketiah's campaign launch in Accra, the big campaign launch that was done. Ahmed Ibrahim attended. When he attended, he spoke at the event and said that he is representing Haruna Idrisu, the minority leader in Parliament. This is the launch of Asiedu-Nketiah's campaign, okay? Now, yeah, that's Ahmed Ibrahim on the screen. Thank you very much for that. When he spoke, he also said that Haruna Idrisu has asked him to say that the minority caucus in Parliament are behind Asiedu-Nketiah's bid to become chairman of the party. I'm going to show you the video of this event, happened a few months ago. And then I'll show you Haruna Idrisu's statement after the event. This is Ahmed Ibrahim speaking at that Johnson Asiedu-Nketiah launch. Have a look.
Choboy! 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 Yo, me papa, General Mosquito. Nanka was the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, the minority leader himself. Ewoha. But in the Parliament, se wahwe MPs ni dressing obia she black. Estati anopa. Yewo IEA presentation. It was a minority leader, any majority leader ni nyina. Mene wo kasai omuguswa omuye IEA presentation on constitutional amendment. Ni science general osi MPs no enka ye hona ye ni omumra. But I could see say most of the MPs are even standing. It tells you say minority caucus no, we have our unflinching support for you.
All right, so that's Ahmed Ibrahim. Now, get me the statement of Haruna, not this one, the statement of Haruna Idrisu, please, very quickly. Not this one. The Haruna Idrisu statement refuting James yes, please, let's not make these mistakes. It worries me a little bit. All right, so this is so after he spoke at the event, yeah, he spoke at the event and said that he's representing Haruna Idrisu at the launch of Johnson Asiedu-Nketiah's bid to become chairman of the National Democratic Congress. He, Ahmed Ibrahim, is representing Haruna Idrisu, and that Haruna Idrisu says that the minority caucus are with General Mosquito for the bid of the chairmanship. Soon after that event, Haruna Idrisu issues the statement on the letterhead of the office of the minority leader. Let's go through it. It says, the attention of the leadership of the NDC caucus. Let's see the date, sorry. Let me get the date. So this is 26th October 2022. That's when the statement was done. It goes as follows. The attention of the leadership of the NDC caucus in Parliament has been drawn to a statement made by Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim, MP for Banda and Deputy Minority Whip at the launch of the election campaign of Honorable Johnson Asiedu-Nketiah on Tuesday, 25th October 2022, to the effect that the NDC caucus in Parliament was supporting the candidature of Honorable Asiedu-Nketiah for the position of chairman of the party. The leadership of the caucus categorically denies the assertion by Honorable Ibrahim Ahmed and wishes to state as follows. Now, this is where the catch is, viewers. Have a look at this. Now, it says the leadership of the caucus categorically denies. When he says the leadership of the caucus, who is he referring to? He's referring to himself, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, and most importantly, Honorable Mubarak Muntaka, the chief whip. It is the two of them that he's referring to as the leaders of this thought process. If he says the leadership of the caucus categorically denies the assertion by Honorable Ibrahim Ahmed and wishes to state as follows. 1. That the leadership of the caucus never met on the matter and have not taken any decision on the matter. The matter being whether or not they are going to support a candidate or not. That matter. They've never met. He goes on. Number 2, he says that the caucus has not met and has not taken any decision on any of the candidates contesting any position within the party. Number 3, that the leadership and the caucus has no position on any of the candidates vying for the respective positions in the party. Number 4, that the Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim's attention was drawn to the matter and he has since rendered an unqualified apology to the entire caucus. We, he says, accordingly urge our rank and file and the public to disregard the purported statement made during the launch. We further wish to urge all members of the caucus to refrain from making such comments in the immediate future. Is signed by Honorable Haruna Idrisu, Minority Leader. That's deep, isn't it? So now you're getting the picture, viewers. I think now you're getting the picture. So you see where it's coming from. Now, if I go and play to you the video of Haruna Idrisu's constituency chairman, which I will later down the line, at the end of the series, I have just 5 minutes to finish, forgive me, you will find that he, the constituency chairman, actually mentions Johnson Asidunketia and Fifi Kwete for being responsible for the removal of Haruna Idrisu as minority leader. So that's a very interesting statement. Now, the other conversation about all of this is that who appoints the minority leader anyway? Who does it? Who does that appointment? Is it the party? Should it be put to a vote? What does the Constitution say? So we checked the Constitution. I think between Articles 123 or 128 or so, it's on Parliament. And you don't find anything. So the National Constitution is silent on how leaders emerge. So we went to the standing orders and we got something. Standing Order 7, which is at the interpretation clause. You know, every law has an interpretation clause. So 296 is the interpretation clause for the 1992 Constitution. Article 296 is the interpretation clause. I think 296 or 295, I believe it's 296. That's the interpretation clause. So we checked the standing order, and any body of laws will have an interpretation clause. We saw it in Order 7, the interpretation. So we'll share with you and read it. Order 7 is interpretation. It reads as follows. Minority leader. It means a member of parliament designated by the party or parties and or members forming the minority as their recognized leader in the house. Let's take it again slowly so we get it. Who is minority leader? He's defined in the standing orders of parliament in Order 7 to mean a member of parliament designated by the party or parties and / or members forming the minority. So he's either designated by the party or he can be designated by the members who form the minority and they must recognize him as their leader. So the statement from Fifi Kwete in his capacity as General Secretary of the NDC is correct. Under Order 7 of the standing orders, it's a statement, is a designation by the party in minority that is designating the new leader. So yes, of course, that is correct. They have been able to do that. Let's see now what Haruna Idrisu said. Give me that photograph you had over there. What Haruna Idrisu said, as we saw on his Facebook page or on his social media handle, the way he put it. People send that to me. We crop that, and he says, "Never let." Can you put it out for viewers to see, please? He says, "Never let a wishbone grow where a backbone should be. I will and forever serve my country." That's complex and complicated, if that is correct. Let's read it again. He says, from Honorable Haruna Idrisu, and this is put out at the end of all the statements and this, that. He says, "Never let a wishbone grow where a backbone should be. I will and forever serve my country." No mention of the party. Absolutely no mention of the party. He says he will forever serve his country. Wow. Okay. We took this on social media, so we did not have enough time to determine whether it's correct or wrong. We believe that it's correct, but this is what we took from social media, so you can check and help us. Okay. So it's complicated, isn't it? Now, there has been some support coming in for President Mahama, people think that he's part of the decision. They support the decision. They think it's good. And there's been something coming in from people who think that Haruna Idrisu should be the winner. Haruna Idrisu is the victim of all the circumstances. Now, we will skip those because we don't have time. Let's go to the statement from Haruna Idrisu's constituency chairman, which we played as a teaser. Listen to the constituency chairman. Listen to what he says. When we come back, we will do the election results situation. And then, well, this is one of those against the party. It says that your agenda against Haruna won't work. Friends of Haruna to JDM is we did worry that, okay, so this is going on. I mean, these things, we don't take them too serious because we don't know who is asking somebody to put out something on social media. But there's been support both ways. Support for the decision and support against the decision. But this is the constituency chairman of Tamale South speaking earlier today. Very, very irate, very, very livid at the constituency office in Tamale. This is what he said.
Majority the change, but half of majority you are not here that the change the majority leader. Never hear that. Because Batman make a minority leader and came majority leader. Change men supposed to come minority leader and come majority leader. Why Haruna Idrisu came minority leader? You know, end your time, you come na. So that one, no go to take it. No go to take it today, no go to take it tomorrow. But this one, we are know that two people do it. I said and two of them do it. But we are aware that they will do more than this one because you know what to do. You know what to do. You know what to do. I said that they vote, me to our vote. These people, all of them, yes, they vote. So don't tell me that why we are voting. You know how to do. If you want, I'm the chairman for Tamale South constituency. If you tell my people that, oh, vote for Haruna, don't vote for your mama. If you put them for the party, no, I ask you. If you go around and tell people that, vote for Haruna. So yes, so that's why don't ask me that if you want this, if you accept, if you do that, what I will do. So this one, that's why you say that you don't agree. This one you don't agree because if you go to if you don't do it. So I said, I want to remind you, that time you came to General Secretary, you don't have Bezwa. You don't have Bezwa to give anybody. But you have given the secretary to you. So now you are a big man. You want to punish people. Look at nonsense. If you are the chairman, so what? So I want to tell you, I'm the constituency chairman. I don't care about you. I don't care about you.
The very irate constituency chairman of Tamale South. Now, let's do a quick comparison of the two MPs, the old minority leader, the new majority leader, in terms of their parliamentary strength. And this is I have on the screen now is Kesela Tuforsen. In 2012, he was elected by 52%. In 2016, by 53%. And indeed, in 2020, by a much bigger margin of 58%. Now, he garnered 24,000 votes in 2012 in the constituency. In 2016, 25,000. In 2020, he gathered the most votes, 39,000, maybe of a much more improved voters register in terms of the numbers. But in terms of his own gain, his gain in 2020 was significantly higher than the gain of 2016 and the gain of 2012. So that's Kesela Tuforsen. In the same constituency, President Mahama has been winning all the time. Even in 2016, did he? No, in 2016, President Mahama didn't win, even though Kesela Tuforsen won. President Mahama got 48% of the votes. President Akufo-Addo got 50% of the vote. Now in 2020, President Mahama got 52% of the vote. President Akufo-Addo losing the constituency, even though Akufo-Addo eventually won the central region, getting 46% of the votes. Let's look at Haruna Idrisu in a quick comparative analysis, and then we will be going to the montage and wrapping it up. Now here's Haruna Idrisu. We start from 2012. Now look at the way he wins the election. 74% in 2012, 72% in 2016, 73% in 2020, defeating the NDC so massively. Now, John Dramani Mahama in the same constituency picks up 75% in 2012, 71% in 2016, when people were not doing well on the Mahama ticket. And then in 2020, President Mahama picks up 68%. So quite clearly, Haruna Idrisu wins a far more comfortable victory than Keselato Forsen does. And you would expect your minority leader, when you are selecting him, to be one who is going to win comfortably. So look at 2020. Idrisu Haruna picked 69,267 from the constituency. And this is a constituency that MPP used to have many years ago. And it has now become Haruna Idrisu's constituency. And in 2020, the last election, he picks up 69,000 as compared to Yakubu Yusuf, who picked up 23,000. So almost 40,000 difference, more than 40,000 margin is what Idrisu Haruna won Tamale South with. That's the kind of character that you will make your minority leader, I think. I mean, you look at the British Parliament, you look at the American Congress, you see that the leaders are selected from persons who are very comfortable in their constituency. In fact, in the British Parliament, because they can place people anywhere, the party decides where you run, they put their best people in those seats, conservative seats that they know are typically blue and that they will win hard. So this is the data analysis. Haruna Idrisu is a far more stronger MP on the ground among his people than Keselato Forsen is, even though they both win. Now, it looks like that's it. We have to go now to the montage that we prepared for Haruna Idrisu. Haruna Idrisu has done a good job. Well done. But now it's time to say goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Orofo what analysis in Paul Adom-Otchere. Yeah, the credit man. Good evening, Ghana. We are explaining much better. We're breaking them down. Ama wa utie what I see. Now, as we see, you know, MPP, NDC, Mutala. Honorable Mutala reaction. Me pese ye tie ono so ne reaction na oteki ye no. Udu se ne bu afu ache se sembebre. But me no ne mi hu ne se NDC for bie chances for MPP to take over. Tie Mutala ne remarks or I'm saying with Asempa FM. Tie ne remarks no. Just 2 minutes audio. Muntie audio no.
We would want to see the minutes of that meeting, which resulted to the decision that our leadership should be changed. We would want to see. Was it a decision taken by an individual or 2 people? Was it taken at FEC? My understanding is that FEC is meeting today. FEC is meeting today to take a decision on a matter that they have already taken a decision on. And I see a disrespect not just to the leadership of our caucus, but a direct disrespect to us as a caucus. Nobody consulted us. Who told you that the people you are choosing for us will be comfortable with them as our leaders? Outstanding individuals. I don't have any problem with those who have been chosen as leaders or who are supposed to be made. I don't have any problem. They are all my comrades, outstanding individuals. But the question is, have we told you that we are dissatisfied with the kind of leadership we have? Have we told you, if there is any member of parliament who has actually told our leadership or some of the executive that they are dissatisfied with them, they should be bold enough to speak out? Do we need this at this material moment? If we sincerely and genuinely want President Mahama to win the elections for 2024, if we sincerely and genuinely want to win these elections for the good people of this country, these 2024 elections we are going into, it is not just about the NDC. It is about salvaging this country. This country is in a quagmire. Look, Honorable Haruna is the most experienced member of parliament today, except Honorable Kletus Avoka. Tell me, this is 20 years. Honorable Aveji, one of the most experienced. Honorable Mutaka, one of the most experienced members of parliament. In any case, look at the MPP front bench. I'm not saying that you necessarily need to be a lawyer to be able to lead a parliamentary caucus, but you necessarily need a lawyer within the front bench. Now you need experience. That's the most important thing. I mean, Honorable Chairman Sabunsu is not a lawyer, very experienced member of parliament. Honorable Haruna Idrisu, very experienced. Honorable Aveji, very experienced. Honorable Mutaka, very experienced. Now, you are taking away these most experienced people and bringing in. I'm not saying the others are not, but in comparison with those you are taking away and those you are bringing, they are the most experienced brains within the caucus. This decision is untimely. It is not the best thing for the party at this material moment. It is going to cause division within the ranks and file of our NDC caucus in parliament.
Order for Mumientie Mutalabi, Mumientie Honorable Mutalabi, Mumientie the Bib. And some more can be very important. Not some more trying to say, meeting no more ye no. Minutes now more the meeting no. When agree to their decision, and for the surgery, he wants to know. A crofua omo planning side way. Mummy a very beginning or make his statement. Mummy the pa muntibi.
We would want to see the minutes of that meeting, which resulted to the decision that our leadership should be changed. We would want to see. Was it a decision taken by an individual or two people? Was it taken at FEC? My understanding is that FEC is meeting today. FEC is meeting today to take a decision on a matter that they have already taken a decision on. And I see a disrespect not just to the leadership of our caucus, but a direct disrespect to us as a caucus. Nobody consulted us. Who told you that the people you are choosing for us will be comfortable with them as our leaders? Outstanding individuals. I don't have any problem with those who have been chosen as leaders or who are supposed to be made. I don't have any problem. They are all my comrades, outstanding individuals. But the question is, have we told you that we are dissatisfied with the kind of leadership we have? Have we told you, if there is any member of parliament who has actually told our leadership or some of the executive that they are dissatisfied with them, they should be bold enough to speak out. Do we need this at this material moment? If we sincerely and genuinely want President Mahama to win the elections for 2024, if we sincerely and genuinely want to win these elections for the good people of this country, these 2024 elections we are going into, it is not just about the NDC. It is about salvaging this country. This country is in a quagmire. Look, Honorable Haruna is the most experienced member of parliament today, except Honorable Kletus Avoka. Tell me, this is 20 years. Honorable Aveji, one of the most experienced. Honorable Mutaka, one of the most experienced members of parliament. In any case, look at the MPP from bench. I'm not saying that you necessarily need to be a lawyer to be able to lead a parliamentary caucus, but you necessarily need a lawyer within the front bench. Now, that's the most important thing. A very experienced member of parliament. Honorable Haruna Idrisu, very experienced. Honorable Aveji, very experienced. Honorable Mutaka, very experienced. Now, you are taking away these most experienced people and bringing in. I'm not saying the others are not, but in comparison with those you are taking away and those you are bringing, they are the most experienced brains within the caucus. This decision is untimely. It is not the best thing for the party at this material moment. It is going to cause division within the ranks and file of our NDC caucus in parliament.
Order what to be? Wow, it's a wrong move. And as leadership now, you appoint him to office recently. MPP Koye. I see you don't get here. Fifi Kwate and John Dramani Mahama, John Dramani Mahama, former president, Okahubi, because Utie Paul Adom-Otchere audio snow boy na. Ye bisa Fifi Kwate say decisions na mokoye no John His Excellency John Mahama Odimhubia na. Or hesitate here and Oka say yes, he has been informed. That's all he can say. So what I said, you know, they all planned. It was orchestrated. Plan work. They've planned for a long time on person who year and Drew free. Why? To my understanding, say, now say honorable Commander Dufo Eka say or person Ojuna as a flag bearer my NDC no. In his interview, ye bisa papa says in case say who we need flag bearership route. Running mate I'll bet you wine. The first person papa the bone the Haruna Idrisu. And one minister be me refinity. Etino Haruna Idrisu na kasano NDC for he has been a target more much as a wide threat Emma Mama. ade omuye nyina a bit for Mama, just for John Mama to become the flag bearer, because one Semuta Haruna Idris wo and Mutaka wo man, they're not going to allow Sani Emmanuel Koso no say Mama is a presumptive leader, meaning say Makuma ma choosing that it all my everybody no they are sankwas and you're nice I just don't want to use that planting on me say crofo you be too much and I see dunketia any fifi kwate and share as a group na kamuko share and so say even at all mako make it as decision here we are. You should inform the parliament. Omono they are the caucus NDC caucus or parliament minority no you should inform them and not muti obi a view when they be on your post who buying at forcing or channel pastor na ko bie jiki ko bie Aruna Dru's office ka tell say yen no obi. What an insult, what an insult. So what I say enye mogu NDC for go monum ase but me advantage ye kakra ma me say is going to open doors for MPP to operate. Sure Ameka asem ntrem ade a NDC for maybe a twem obehwa MPP adwasafo they use there all because nikru NDC ni it not they were using an adwasafo or MPP for uniform but she's not ne kran ni moja woni mu no it run through NDC blood bibia MPP for baby they use her to sabotage their plan no ma defeat here. That is why NDC have become stronger. And this thing now, NDC for is going to do this. It's going to be the same thing. Because some the Bibiba, MP before the Bibiba board, say the co-parliament, they need approval, and I say they need supporter. Partially, and technically, no. They say Haruna Dru's and the Mutaka, and some pennyphobia, all these members are going to vote with MPP to pass that law. Say as long as say be boa Ghana. Say because Aruna Dru's you nipa bia. He has a war reputation and on destroying. O me true party line me say ni nim de edi na nim onyama ekuta no. It does the whole show. Omo penasem they want him out so that they can bring somebody who always say yes amasa. Yes amasa. Omo kai atu forcing onye propaganda. I say look at your propaganda leader. Atu force a propaganda leader. Fifi kwati propaganda leader. And oma formal group no. No mu nyina komranya who is behind them. His Excellency former President John Dramani Mahama. All in the name of say also about power. Na uni bibi. Ena mutaka kan azisia no. Ewo Asempa FM. Or say who told you say nipa na mode omo ba no? You're okay to work with them. What kind of emphatic? One, two excuse. Who told you that? One I can't say the panel omodi omoba ye don't be juma. It that means say NDC is going to divide. They say no ye beye omobekono Atamils group Mama group already no cry. Remember more problem with Kwaku Anyudewo on also on the group. They are going to fight among each other. Now is going to open a big door for MPP to break the 8th 2024. It's order for higher than the basis. So comment beer, fashion comment session. I say na the Moya bro. You might be share live. Ewo Jerry's TV GH. Ewo YouTube. And I'll call Facebook so Jerry's TV GH. Ewo Facebook. Oko Twitter. Your honum Jerry's TV GH. It's a hard yedum Iti no ni ekoso Ghana no yeda obi biara ase say ene onye adaje ebeti ye na ore I hope say ombe make ombe reverse decision no na Haruna Akotra na office but ombe reverse dia NDC MPP for bebo say now it's going to open door for them 2024 for their campaign how dey dimbesi yeda obi biara ase nyame hwira Ghana head. Odofo, Yamobia bye bye.